Hey everybody, good evening and welcome to another session of the Intentional Parent Conference 2021. I'm very excited to welcome you to another amazing session. Hi Daisy. Daisy says she's patiently waiting. Hi Precious. Welcome to this session. Now, this session is one session that I have looked forward to ever since I saw the schedule for the conference. How to pawn proof your home. Now, some time ago, when the academy ran the Sex Educate Your Child Like a Pro challenge, we came up with a free guide which talked about the facts of pornography, how much pornography has affected the society. And those facts gave me sleepless nights. Like, it was crazy. Now, this session, our guest for today, Coach Abibo Berepele, will be sharing on how you can proof your home. Now, if you have never shared this conference with anybody, with your friends, your neighbors, your colleagues, this is the time to share it. Pornography is one challenge that the society is having, that lots of parents do not know. They are handicapped. They don't know how they can handle this debilitating problem in the society. Coach Abibo Berepele has come to share with you how you can proof your home. Please share this broadcast with your friends, your neighbors, your colleagues, everybody that you know. Everybody needs to be in this session. We need to learn how we can proof our home. All right. So at this point, while we settle in, we're going to be playing a live review from the Inner Circle. The Inner Circle is an annual subscription based program of the Intentional Parent Academy. Like Coach Wendy would always say, parenting is not about tips and hacks. Parenting is about a process. It's about the process. The ecstasy, the euphoria of this conference is going to win off very soon. After tomorrow, everybody goes back to their normal day-to-day routine of parenting. But what the Inner Circle will provide you is a process, is a structure that ensures that you carry whatever you've learned in this conference and you apply it to your unique context. Now, we're going to have the review go up shortly. Please chat up the number on your screen to register and book a slot for the Inner Circle 2021. So we're going to have the review go up in a bit. Welcome, everybody. I see you all in the comment section. Share. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Hello, everyone. My name is Titilope Akajere, and I'm a member of the Inner Circle of the Intentional Parents Academy. My journey to becoming a member started long before now. I'd always followed Coach Wendy, followed her posts, bought her books, from Connect to Correct to The Discipline That Works, and every other media guide that she puts out there. So being a member of the Intentional Parents Academy, the Inner Circle, has been eye-opening for me. I see it as a support system for parents who want to be deliberate and intentional on this parenting journey. Parenting in the 21st century is not a walk in the park, I must tell you. And so you need to follow person with no road, follow someone who has more knowledge than you. I tell people, why do we go to business school? Why do we go to school to read certain things? And then it comes to parenting and we act like we know it all. No, it won't work. And so that's why I would recommend the Inner Circle for anyone who wants to be deliberate, who wants to parent with ease and not under stress. We also have our lives to live and we also want to parent our children better. So the Inner Circle is a place to be for everyone to learn, to unlearn and relearn. And so I would recommend the Inner Circle for anyone, any day, anytime. Thank you.
Follow Who Know Road. That's one thing I loved about that review. Follow Who Know Road. Follow the Intentional Parent Academy. I also love that she highlighted how we go to business school to learn about business. We go to school of etiquette to learn about social posh and etiquette. But when it comes to parenting, we think that we can do it anyhow. Now follow Who Know Road. Follow Who Know Road. Someone I saw a chat here I want to read. Someone said, let me quickly. Okay, you mean Inner Circle 2022? I am sorry. Yes, our class is full. Thank you, Dima. Yes, yes, yes. Follow Who Know Road. follow the Intentional Parent Academy. All right, so at this point, we're going to play the profile of our amazing speaker for today, Coach Abibo Berepele. You need to invite your friends. This session is going to be amazing. You need to share this broadcast. You need it. You need to share. I can't say this enough. You need to share this broadcast. Your family, your friends, your neighbors need to learn how they can improve their homes. So we're going to have the profile of Coach Abibo Berepele go up in a bit. Then we get this amazing session started. Stay there, guys. This session is going to blow your minds.
Abibo Berepele is a certified unconventional parent, teens and youth coach, strategist, and founder of Parenting Generations and Teens Mentoring Academy. The host a weekly and monthly online and offline training for parents and teens with the mandate to equip parents with the right knowledge and skills to build loving families that will build loving societies. Equip teenagers with the right knowledge and skills to discover, develop, deploy, and maximize their purpose, potential, and purity. He's the author of several books, including The Sex Conversation, Parenting with a Difference, and This Thing Called Sex. His books and trainings have transformed the lives of many parents and teens and brought peace to many families. Abibo Berepele works with schools, churches, families, and organizations to equip young people with wisdom to become responsible, purposeful, and maintain their virginity and purity. Ladies and gentlemen, please make welcome to the 2021 Intentional Parent Conference, Abibo Berepele.
Hello, good evening, Coach Abibo Berepele. How are you today?
I'm fine. Good evening, ma. Good evening, Miss Precious.
Good evening.
Yes, I can hear you.
I know. So I've listened to a couple of your sessions, and I know you always bring the heat. But I want you to tell us what we should expect from you before I leave the stage and allow you to do your thing. What should we expect from this session?
Just expect love, life, and solution.
Love, life, and solution. Amazing. You have the floor, sir.
All right. Good evening, everybody. Good evening. Thank you very much. Our host for tonight, that's Precious. Thank you very much, Coach Wendy. Thank you very much, the Intentional Parents Academy, for inviting us to the 2021 TIP Annual Conference. I'm so excited and I appreciate you all. For everyone that is here watching today, this is a journey and you would never regret being part of it. I will encourage you to invite others because tonight's class, with all the classes I've gotten, I've received a lot of teachings, from Ebuka, from a lot of people, Ngozi, and all of the teachers had done so well. And I can say this is one or, if not, the best thing that can happen to any parent. Thank you very much. All right, so tonight I'm given a title or a topic to talk about how to protect your home, how to protect your home from pornography. I used to start my teaching by saying the greatest responsibility of a parent is to love their children unconditionally, no matter what and even if. The greatest responsibility of parent is to love their children unconditionally, no matter what and even if. Parenting is a hard job, but not an impossible work. Parenting is a ministry first, a responsibility, and is an assignment. Until we understand that parenting is a God-given responsibility, we will get engaged to it. I often say this: understanding your call and your role as a parent is one of the greatest things you can ever do to generation. Every nation is built by family, and every family is built by parent. Until we build a people, we cannot build a nation. And this is why one of my core mandates is to equip parents to build loving families that build loving society. I might start by saying this: one of the greatest need of every child is to feel loved, accepted, and special. Where these needs are not met, the child becomes a disaster to society. Pornography is a proof of lack of love. Pornography is a proof of lack of love. I'll give us some patterns and history about pornography today because it is needed for the class to be effective and productive. So I'm going to start with lesson 1 because we're talking about a home. What is a home? I define a home as a place where your heart longs to be. A home is a place where your heart longs to be. A home is supposed to be that place where a mother and father come together to build a family, all right? But I say this in this way, a home is a loving place where your heart longs to be. Sometimes I see the boys at the slum, sometimes where they smoke and do all of this, and I ask them, where is this? They said, this is my home. And I asked them, he said, because they find love, they find acceptance, and they are being valued in that place. So let me say this, everywhere your child feels loved, accepted, and valued, he sees it at the home. So if your heart does not make your child feel loved, valued, and accepted, he will see your house as a house and not a home. The first home a child ever needs is the heart of his parents. Until your heart become a loving place where your children can feel secure and reside in, they will never see a home in you. So I ask the question, do our children see us as their home, or they see us as their terror? And this is very real. A lot of the children who have gotten involved in pornography today, I had done interviews. I've been interviewed over 70 to 100 teenagers in less than 2 years, and I found out that many of them got into pornography because of lack of love. So where there is no love, pornography thrives. Let me say that again. Where there is no love, pornography thrives. Now, what makes up a home? That's the next thing I want to ask. What makes up a home? Number 1, the first thing that makes up a home is unconditional love. Unconditional love. Let me say this to you. Many men do not come back home because they see their home as a house. Why? Because there is lack of love. Unconditional love is the first foundation for an effective home. Your home is not effective until love is the driver of the home. If your home is not built on the foundation of unconditional love, then it is not a home, it's a house. I often say this, it is better to have a small apartment with a big heart of love than to have a big apartment where there is no love. Let me say this also, children only live where love is living. Show your child love and he will live in your home. Show your child hatred and he will run to look for love. Everybody is in search of love. And this is it. When your children look for love in your home and they can't find it, guess what? They look for it outside. And what looks like love can be pornography and disastrous. And this is why I say the first thing about a home is that it's a place where love is unconditional. I say this a lot of times. If you love your children based on behavior, you are not a responsible parent because you are emotionally drifted. So your love for your child should be based on, first, unconditional love, based on the personality of God before the person that you love. Your object for love should not be first your child. Your object for love is God. When you draw your love from God, then you can love your children unconditionally. And your love for your child should not be based on performance. It should be based on the person. When you see your child, what do you see? The next is acceptance. I can say this for free. One of the biggest problems of child misbehavior is lack of acceptance. When a child is not accepted, the child misbehaves. I say this to parents. Love your children no matter what. This is also what I say. Believe in your child even when you don't believe your child. So your child may have lied, yet your child should be believed in. What does it mean? The difference is this. When you believe in your child, you make the child feel comfortable and vulnerable even when the child makes mistake. But when you don't believe in your child feels insecure. And I say this to you again. Every child wants to feel secure. So when a child does not feel secure, he looks for security outside. If your home is not the security office for your child, let me say this to you. You have given your child to become a prey to social media, pornography, and disasters. Having said that, the first thing you need to know about home is peace. A home is peace. Does your child feel that he has peace at home? Is your home a war zone, or your house a war zone, or a peace place? Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall inherit the kingdom. So your children should be part of your kingdom because you are king and queen. So when you are not a peacemaker as a family, guess what happens? Your children will not dwell in the kingdom of war. Every child is looking for peace. The fourth thing you need to understand, a home is a place of vulnerability. Let me say this. One of the biggest mistakes parents make is to try to become perfect parents to raise perfect children. Perfection is illusion. There is no perfection on earth. God had made us promise. Bible even says that Jesus washed us consistently by the blood and by the word so that we can be made perfect. But yet we are not perfect. We can be perfect in our spirit, that's fine because of salvation. But on earth, we have misbehaviors. I often say this, every parent has misbehavior. And this is the truth. Until you accept that you have misbehavior, you cannot see the misbehavior in your child. There is no perfect parent. You can never be perfect. So when you do not create a home where your child can be vulnerable, you make your child feel like it's imperfect and cannot be accepted by you. And that's why perfect parents raise pretentious children. Perfect parents raise pretentious children. Please follow me through this journey because it's very critical and important. Somebody is asking, are you really talking about pornography? I'm on the journey because you need to understand the home first before we talk about how to protect your home from pornography. So you need your children to be able to be vulnerable. And I say this, vulnerable parents raise vulnerable children that build effective family bonding. Let me say that again to you. Vulnerable parents raise vulnerable children that build effective family bonding. If you as a parent cannot be vulnerable, then your child cannot be vulnerable to you. So many parents ask, why are my children lying? I said they lie because you look like a perfect parent. So they lie to defend their perfection syndrome, all right? So you want them to become perfect children, so they lie to defend that disposition of being perfect. Why? Because you look perfect. Let me say this to you. If you want your child to see your family as a home, then become a vulnerable parent. Let me also go to the fifth one, comfort and connection. In fact, Wendy will always say you have to connect to correct. Does your child feel comfortable? I've got to schools where I do mentorship and coaching, especially in boarding schools. And when the school is over, the children cry. And I ask why. They said, because my home is not comfortable for me. We do not connect. And this is why I say, if you do not create an atmosphere that can help your child feel comfortable and connect with you, you are frustrating the child and you are preparing the child to be stolen by pornography. Please follow me because it's a journey. The sixth thing is rest and refreshment. This is important. Is your home a rest place? Bible said, let us come into rest. The question is, when your children leave school, do they come into rest? When children see a place of rest and vulnerability, they become vulnerable and then they can speak up no matter what and even if. Let me repeat this. The greatest responsibility of a parent is to love their children unconditionally, no matter what and even if. The greatest home any child can live in is in the heart that is loving, or the heart of a loving parent. The greatest house or home any child wants to live in is in the heart of a loving parent. If you bring love to the table, your children will receive this love. And that's what creates communication. Your words and action is what makes your child feels like your house is a home. Mind your words, mind your action. They either protect your children from pornography or deliver them to pornography. Children don't live where children don't live where they don't feel loved, accepted, and special. Children don't live where they don't feel loved, accepted, and special. One of this drama happens every time a girl is brought to school. She cries from her mother's hand and runs to meet me. And then when school is over, she runs to meet me. And every time her mother wants to pick her up, she begins to cry. But I began to talk with the mom. I realized that the mom and the dad always fight in the morning before the mom carries the girl to the school. So she's afraid. So she comes to school with fear. I'm going to give us a lot of story because it's important. So let me say this to you. Don't become a stranger to your child. If you become a stranger to your child will look for things that are friendly to him. My question is, what kind of home are you building? Please answer that question. Be sincere. Were you raised in a home or you were raised in a house? You can have male and female come together, give birth to children, and raise a house and not a home. I often say this to my friends. Because you have the ability to conceive a sperm that can produce a child does not make you a parent. Parenting is an intentional ministry. It's a journey ordained by God that begins with the God-loving system and grows with the God-loving system. It is only built by intentional living of individuals coming together to raise a family. We cannot effectively parent until we intentionally choose to parent the right way. You cannot build a home better than the purpose, the values, the character, the words, and the actions that you have. You cannot build a home better than your purpose, your character, your values, your actions, and your habits. Let me read what I said in my material. It is your purpose that builds your home. So if you are purposeless parents, what will your home be? It is your values that build your home. If you are a parent without right values, what kind of home would you build? It is your character that builds your home. So if you are a parent without the right characters, what kind of home will you build? It is your words that build your home. So if your words are not seasoned with salt and grace, what kind of home would you build? And of course, it's your habits that build your home. Your children watch your habits more than they watch your words. The question I ask before I go into the second part of tonight's lesson is, if your habit does not display the kingdom of effective living, what kind of home would you build? Begin to think about it. I'll give us 30 seconds so that we can be able to look through it. If you're here, I want you to invite others for this conference because there's something big coming right now. This class is divided into 3 sections, and I know that every section will impact your life. Yes, 30 seconds. Just begin to send some love. You can say thank you to Coach Wendy for this class. You can just begin to talk. Just send in some things. Send in some love, all right? Send in some fire. Invite others, all right? I want this class to be one of the classes you want to attend and you never want to miss again. And every other class that's going to come in. Are we good? We have 10 seconds more. Let's go. So let's talk about understanding the porn industry. I always ask this question. How many of you saw porn before the age of 15? How many of you saw porn before the age of 15? And let me say this. When Wendy Ologe says parenting is an intentional journey, so many persons joke about it. And I said that's very true. You do not leave parenting to chance. You leave parenting to choice. Parenting is a choice and not a chance. Children do not become responsible by chance. They become responsible by choice. And this is what I say. If you're not intentional about your parenting system, the media, the porn hub is so intentional about stealing your children. I would go on to say some things that's going to marvel you today, but we are talking about finally how to protect your home. But until I give you this foundation, I would not be effective in my teaching. Pornography is an intentional ministry. They are more intentional than most parents. Pornography is an intentional ministry. Why did I call it a ministry? Because the devil understands ministry system. So he raises men and disciples them and sends them out with pornography system. Men that are skilled in attracting our children to a system and a character that would defile and destroy their integrity so that they can become used by the devil. So there's a picture, there's an image, there's a system that is built by these people as a ministry so that they can be able to take over the future of our children. So pornography home thinks ahead of many parents. They think before many parents think. And parents are saying, oh, it is left to chance. And I say it's not left to chance. The porn industry is an educated family. They learn the new skills, the culture, the focus, the attraction, and the persuasion of today's children, and they create products that will persuasively meet the decisions, choices, and the desires of our children. I said they creatively produce products that will meet the desires, the choices, and the wants of our children. They know very well that the emotion of a child changes over time, and then they look at products that can meet the desire and the emotion of a child. Pornography is the new pandemic. I've said that before. It is not quite new, but it's current because pornography had always been there. But today, it's so much high that I imagine what exactly we are looking at. It is so subtle that it penetrates into every sector of life. It consistently evolves to gain access into the old generations and the new generation. I often say this, pornography has evolved. It has evolved more than many churches. It has evolved more than many industries. It has evolved more than many institutions, even our academic institutions. They have created new scripts, new systems, new platforms, to distribute and drive their message to our society. And many of us are just folding our hand and saying, God forbid. When they will always say, God forbid is not a strategy. I often say this, God forbid is a skill failures learn. God forbid is a skill failures learn. So the porn house is more productive than many Christian homes. So let me give you a statistics of pornography so that you would know before I share my story and get into a bigger part of today. All right. 30.3 billion search. That is 962 search per second of pornography. So there's 30.2 billion search of pornography every single day. 962. And guess what? 24.1 billion of this search are done by children between the age of 8 to the age of 17. This statistics is wonderful. I'm going to share my story with you because it's something that I know. I'm so passionate about helping children and then adults come out of pornography. I've done that for more than 100 and something persons for the past 5 years. And I'm so glad because I know where I'm coming from. All right. Every minute, 62,992 new, visitors arrive at the Pornhub. Every minute, 63,992 visitors arrive at the Pornhub. Number 3, 12 new videos and 2 hours of content are uploaded to Pornhub every minute. So what does that tell you? Some of them are the LGBT porn system. I'm going to talk about that later today because even the lesbian has pornography site now. The gay, has pornography site now. The bisexual have the pornography site. The transgender have the pornography site. Even the Q has a pornography site. That's funny, right? But that's the truth. Previously, it was just for male and female and all of that. We call it adult movies, blue film. But today, it's not like that. They have evolved. 28,258 users are watching pornography every second. 28,258 users. Now, this was before the lockdown. We are still in search for the statistics after the lockdown because many more persons had gone into this, pornography stuff based on the lockdown and the media age. Now, I would say this about how much the pornography industry make. In fact, statistics has shown that pornography industry is about either one of the five most richest industry in the globe. What does that mean? $3,075,000 is spent on pornography every second in the internet. What does that tell you? It means that the porn industry makes $3,075,064,000 $3,075 every second through the internet. And that's why I say this. Fight for your family. Please type in the section. Fight for your family. Fight for your children. There's a fight. It's a fight against pornography because the media is pumping details, is pumping stuffs into the pornography, and the porn house is pointing stuffs into the media, and you must fight for it. Until you learn to fight right, you cannot fight it. Somebody said, don't give your children phone. Yes, sometimes people preach that way. But I will tell you something, like TJ was saying yesterday. He said, in this new age, children are born with phone. So stopping them from using phone at a point is actually disastrous, because if you don't teach them how to use the phone, all they're going to do is go on social media, and all of them. They need to learn how to use the internet and how to be productive with gadgets, phone. So that's why they need to learn tech. TJ got all of those things yesterday. I want you to go back to TJ's section and listen carefully, because he has value that your children need in the tech system. All right. 1 in 5, mobile search are on porn. In fact, they said, we did a research recently. There's a research that was done recently, and one of the things that was found was the highest word that is searched on the Google is the word SES, sex, and the second is pornography. So we went down to look for purity. Purity was almost the last. What does that tell you? Pornography has eaten a lot of sectors. Men have been sacked because they were watching pornography in their office. Many people have been raped because of exposure to pornography. I'm going to share some stories with you. There are terrible things that happened because we're looking at how to protect our home. So let me give you the statistic that is very important for me today. 50% of 11 to 13-year-old children, 65% of 14 to 15-year-old children, 78% of 16 to 18-year-old children reports having seen pornography in some way. Either they were sent to pornography, or they intentionally watched it, or they searched for it by themselves. Something happened recently in the office. A mother came into my office, and then she brought her 4-year-old daughter, and the daughter was like, okay, let me see your phone. So I gave her my phone. She says, I opened the phone. So I unlocked the phone. She went on YouTube. She went to search something, and she typed PORN. And guess what? The girl turned on that thing, and then when the video wanted to come up, I held the phone. I said, the mother wanted to slap her. So what's the meaning of this? And I said, hold on. I have to hold the mother's hand. I say, you don't beat a child to teach a child. I said, have you started sex conversation? She said, no, the child is too young. So I took the child out. And I said, oh, you wanted to watch something. What was that? She said she does not really know, but she saw somebody spelling it. I said, share with me. How did you get in? She said, oh, there's this boy that used to come to their house that would always type it, and she would see how the boy was typing. This is a 4-year-old girl. And it happens to be the mother's younger brother. And the boy is going to play it for them, and they're going to watch it, and they're going to be having fun and laughing. So I asked the mother, who stays in your house with you? She said, everybody in my house, they are all Christians, and the rest of them. I said, calm down, calm down, calm down. He said, it must be from the school. I said, madam, calm down. Do you have a boy called this? She said, yeah, that she knows him very well. I said, does he have a phone? She said, yes. I said, how old is he? He said, 25 years old. I said, he has time with your child. He said, yes. I said, so tell me about it. She said she does not know. She just leaves her daughter because it's her younger brother, leaves the daughter with him, and then all of that. I said, look, your daughter had been addicted to these things because the boy had exposed it to her. Like Wendy would say, God forbid is not a strategy. She said, but my daughter looks innocent. I said, innocent is not the proof of sanity and purity. Innocence is not the proof of sanity and purity. What does that mean? It means any child can get involved because the media is giving this thing out for free. Gone are those days when you have to buy pornography, hide and watch it. Today, it literally comes on your line. I was learning to do some graphics. I called my graphic designer. I said, teach me all of this thing. He sent me a site, and then he gave me a link. And then by the time I clicked it, it was not showing porn by the link. It was something on Pixel because I was looking for a picture, to use. And I typed and I clicked. It was pornography, this thing, over 300 videos. And I logged that. I was like, guy, this thing you sent to me, please check it. He checked it and he saw that. He said, but this is showing pics. That's PIX. But guess what? They have looked for other ways to put it in the media that does not look like pornography. It pops up. One of the times I asked how to have a good life, and guess what showed up? One of the things that showed up was kiss 3 times a day before the age of 10. That's why I want to talk about the porn conversation. People shout. I want to talk about the sex conversation. People say, my child is too young. I say, no child is too young for the devil to steal. No child is too young for pornography to steal. I'm going to come to that. I was talking about pornography one of the times, and the father said, you're talking nonsense. You're saying rubbish. You want us to spoil our children. How are we going to talk about pornography in our family and the rest of that? The man kept talking, and one of the days I saw a call from him. I got the call. It was a serious distress call. He said he's in a big mess. I said, what's the problem? He said his 7-year-old, he caught his 7-year-old girl and his 5-year-old girl. They were putting their hands in their vagina. And then I said, what did you do? He said, beat them. I said, no, that's not the way. So we finally had conversations. We talked about it, and all of that. By the time we concluded, I found out that the children were exposed to lesbian porn sites. And how did this happen? It was one of their classmates at the age of 7 who came home, from school with her mother's gadget one of the time on her birthday. And then they were just watching something. So the school allowed the child, within the break period for them to play. And the girl went into it and said, she saw her mom watching this thing. And then she decided to watch too. What does that mean? You are actually the problem to your children. I say this. If the truth was shared and our parents knew what to do right and they did it right, then pornography would have not been a problem in our society.
You need to unmute your mic, Precious. Your mic is not muted. It's muted.
Seriously ahead of many families because...
Are you back, sir? All right, so our speaker is going to be back shortly. The session has been amazing already. I love he said a number of things, but one thing that has struck me is you don't beat a child to teach a child. Now that is amazing. You don't beat a child to teach a child. So just relax. Our speaker is going to tidy his network soon, and he will be back. While we're on this, please share what you have learned so far. Let's engage in the comment section. Share what you've learned so far. Let's engage in the comment section. I think our speaker is
sorry,
back.
I went out. Yes, ma. All
right, thank God. Welcome.
All right, thank you very much. All right, so we're going to look at how pornography gets into families, and then we're going to look at other things. Now, there are many ways pornography gets into our children, but I'm going to look at 3 ways: the media, the environment, and the internet. The media, the environment, and the internet. Specifically the media. I used to say this: yesterday's world is not today's world. It is the misdeed of parents that turn their children to look for love, and they thought love can be found in misbehavior, or love can be found in sin. So many of the songs that are sung today that we call secular songs are not secular songs. They are immoral songs. I say it for free. Many of the songs we think that are secular songs are not secular songs. They are immoral songs. I used to say there are songs that are secular songs, like "Your land is green, can you see? Your harvest is many." There are songs that are secular songs. Timmy Dakulu songs are secular songs. A lot of songs are secular songs. But when you say a guy is singing a song, "See that girl with the booty bounce, see that girl with the booty bounce," and you say it's a secular song. Secular song teach morality, even if it does not talk about God in itself, all right? Because it's not religious. It teaches about morality, it teaches about discipline, it teaches about character. But any song that does not teach these things is not secular. And these are the songs that our media plays a lot, all right? The media is playing all of these things. There are songs like that. Baby, give it to me some more, I'm going crazy. And this is giving pictures that a lady is a victim of every mess, or a lady has the responsibility to give sex to a boy. And then everybody concludes in a conclusive manner. For instance, the boy says, "Why do I have to have you as a friend or a girl when I cannot have sex with you?" So boys meet girls to become friends because of sex. Why? Because the media says that to them. So the songs goes to sing something like, "Every time when I look at you, I see fire in there, and your eyes make me turn, and your buttocks make me hang," and all of that. And our children are playing it. We are smiling, we are laughing. And I say this to you for free. Music has an ability to either make or break your child. And pornography has looked at them and said parents will not allow their children to carefully view pornography. So they decided to sell it in songs. They decided to sell it in music. So they start with just the music, and then the artists become so popular. They do the audio, and then before you know it, they play music. And I know they do the video section of the song. And I say, what does it got to do with helping the child become better? I often say this: rate your child, and then rate the music that I sang. You realize that your child's image is formed by the music that I sang. Music is a food of the soul. So when your child begins to think on songs like that, you know, I begin to ask, what kind of child would it become? And that's why I say be careful with what songs your child listens to. Raise your child with values in your home, so that when they go to the world, they will fight against the values of the world. So a child went to school one of the time, and then they were playing this song, and the child said, no, I can't dance it. In fact, I have to report to my mother. Why? Because you have become a pal parent. I don't know if I've missed that in my teaching for today, because I'm supposed to talk about something like being a pal parent. All right, being present, being accessible, and then also being a listening parent. I think I've not missed that, so I'm going to talk about that if I have the time. Otherwise, I don't have that time. All right, so the media, the music, and the environment. I know our time is fast spent, so I may not be able to reach out some things, but I'm going to talk more if I have the time. So the media is selling a lot of this information to our children. The environment. What kind of environment do you have? What kind of environment do your children live in? What kind of environment do your children go through? I saw this for 5-year and 7-year-old children when I was passing through a street close to my former office, and they saw this woman with a big waist. And you know what they were saying? I have to just catch this woman, fuck her now. And I was like, what? And guess what? I just remembered the song. See that girl with the biggie waist? That's what I remembered. I said these children have been listening to such songs like that. How then are not going to practice? Let me say this. Children practice what they watch and what they hear. So I saw these other children. They caught a girl somewhere, a very small girl, and they were saying, "Oh, let's just play folk, you know. So let's play what we used to see on the television." And that's how they were playing what they saw on the television. And you thought it's a play. The media is selling it to our children. And I say this: it is not to shut down the television that's the problem. Is to give your child values that make them become selective with what they watch. Train your children with values that help them become selective with what they watch. It means if you train them with a culture that helps them know right and wrong, helps them know what is valuable to them they have to see, even when they turn on the remote to a site or a video, all right, channel or whatever, that is showing pornography, they'll be able to turn it off without feeling angry or without feeling ashamed. So I used to teach this, that there are basically 5 gates that pornography penetrates to. Number 1 is the eye gate. Guide your eyes with all diligence. So I'm teaching you how to porn protect. Teach them about the eye gate. You know, good sight, bad sight, good image, bad image, good video, bad video. That's why you need to start the porn protection conversation. You have to talk about the sex conversation. So the eye gate, I ask a question: how did King David kill a man to marry his wife? Or why? Because of his eye. So I used to say this: guide our eyes with all diligence, for out of it are the issues of life. The eye is very important. That's why I also say this: how are your children dressing? The environment you live, how do people dress? A mother was telling me it does not mean dressing is dressing. And I say you are training your child to become a porn star by the way she's dressing today. Tomorrow you will complain. Train up a child in the way he will grow. For when he is old, he will not depart from it. They did not say flog up a child. It's to train. It means you build an environment and a character that can mold the child, that the child become expressive in that manner. A mother always wore, how they call it, short dresses to her daughter and short skirts. When the daughter became 12, the mother started fighting with the daughter. And the daughter said, this is how I grew up. Please don't try to repair a child at old age. It's better you groom the child. I said this: a child grows by nature, but the child is groomed by nurture. A child grows by nature, but a child is groomed by nurture. Choose to groom a child. So the eye gate, that's the first gate. The second gate is the ear gate. So some of the children who got involved in pornography, they heard it from somewhere. That's why you have to be the first person to sex educate and porn educate your child. If your child hears it somewhere, the child might become a victim of it. And this is it. If you do not build quality relationship with your child cannot share the mess and the mistakes they have made. So many children first in contact with pornography was by mistake. But because they did not have parent-child relationship, the child could not come to tell mom, this was what I saw while we're in class. Is it good or bad? Why? Because the child is afraid of being judged and criticized. If you're quick to judge and criticize the child, guess what? You shut the child from telling you the truth and becoming vulnerable. Now, the third one is the second one is the ear gate. What are your children hearing? What are they saying to them? And let me say this to you. If you don't train your children to manage their ears right, guess what? They are going to get into premarital sex for free. The third gate is the mouth gate. Sweet mouth. There's a training I did for young girls. It's called the Playboy Game Plan. How to identify the Playboy Game Plan. What are they saying? Conversation of pornography. I'm going to share my story to wrap up a lot of things, because I was exposed to pornography at the age of 7. For 14 years, I struggled with pornography. I even wanted to become a porn star. I went to Lagos to go into porn school. I told myself, if I don't marry a pornstress, I would not rest. Why? I'm going to share a lot of that. Pornography is a current pandemic. I can tell you a lot of children had gotten into it. The fourth gate is the heart gate. The heart gate. You cannot effectively groom the gates of your child until you first become the gate that your child can get into. You let your heart become the home that your child can be comfortable in. And the fifth gate is called the hand gate. Now, these are the 5 tools that is used for pornography. These are the 5 tools that the devil uses in pornography activities. The porn battle. The porn battle is a spiritual battle, is a soulish battle, and is a body battle. And this is what I say. There are 4 arrows of parenting. The first is relationship. The second is responsibility. The third is rules. And the fourth is reward. The 4 arrows of parenting. I have it in one of my ebooks called Parenting with a Difference. And I teach about a lot of these things. In the book called The Porn Protection Guide, I was able to explicitly explain a lot of the things that I might miss in tonight's class because of our time. Spiritual battle, soulish battle, and the body battle. But before I talk about all of these things, let me share my story with you. This might help to end my section tonight if I can't go into everything I am teaching tonight. But I'm sure we are getting value. So let me just share a very quick story. I got exposed to pornography at the age of 7. So let me explain how I got in. So this was exactly what happened. There was no effective relationship between me and my parents. So where there is lack of parent-child relationship, your child can easily be swayed and exposed to pornography. So my parents did not trust me because they felt I was not a perfect child. And that's why I say this. If you try to make your child perfect, you will lose your child. Because when you try to raise a perfect child, you will focus on the child's behavior rather than the child as a gift. And that's why at that point, you will not understand the 5 basic needs of every child. There are 5 basic needs of every child. There are a lot of things for me to share tonight, but I know we don't have the time. So let me manage the remaining 5 minutes I have before they start asking me questions. So this was what happened. So there was this neighbor that's called Auntie K. Auntie K was so nice to everybody. Somebody talked about the predators, sex predators. She was so nice to everybody. Everybody liked her. Auntie K had lived in the UK. Auntie K was about 16 years old or 7 years old. People liked her. She spoke Queen's English and all of that. And I didn't know, and nobody knew that Auntie K was into pornography and all of those things. So one of the times my parents could not pay my school fees and I was sent out of school, they were saying to me that, oh, if I don't pay my school fees, I won't write my test the next day and I'm not going to write an exam. My father had traveled, the money was not there. My mom was trying to, take care of every other thing, but it was not working. What happened then, that was a challenging year for us, So I came back home. And the door was always locked because I didn't have access to the door. And Auntie K was by the neighborhood. So she asked me what happened. I told her, she said, okay, I'm going to give you money, all right, for your school fee, but you're going to do this for me. So, she took me into her house and then she played blue film. We used to call it blue film that time. And I was struggling to watch it. But the point was, because I did not have a core foundation for sex conversation, I did not know how to say no. I was afraid of saying no, because when I say no to my parents, they're going to beat me for saying no. And this is what I say. If your child cannot say no before you and be taught how not to and how to, your child will become a prey of saying yes. And your child will say yes when he should say no. So I was beaten for saying no. Rather than understanding my emotion, they beat me and they fought against my emotion. So I couldn't say no to Auntie K. So she told me to put my hand in her vagina and, you know, suck her breast. And I did all of that, and she was holding my penis and all of that. She finally gave me the money. I paid my fee. And guess what? After then, I went to one of my neighbors and told him, look at what Auntie K did to me. He said, nobody is going to believe you. I asked another neighbor, please look at what Auntie K did to me. He said, nobody is going to believe you. Let me say this. If you don't believe your children first, let me say this to you, they'll become prey and they'll become vulnerable to others. And guess what? They're going to be destroyed. You understand what I'm saying? Now, so after a while, 3 persons were saying, nobody's going to believe me. Nobody's going to believe me. I know I became withdrawn from Auntie K. So she was taking this private lesson for free. And then others were going to learn. And my parents would tell me, are you stupid? Can't you go and learn? You like being lazy. You don't want to pass your exam. Auntie K is teaching for free and all of that. They didn't know that I was hot. And because everybody had told me, I said, Mommy, what if Auntie K is a bad person? She said, shut up. Why would you say that? It's because you don't like book. Ah, you have shut me up. And guess what? They forced me to meet Auntie K. And Auntie K used me again. And then she started playing pornography till I became used to pornography. So almost every day, I want to watch pornography. And then it moved me from pornography to masturbation. And for 14 years of my life, I struggled with it. Now, this was it. It got to a point I became a porn ambassador. Why did I say that? When I was about 9 or 10 years, you know, I was very good in mathematics, and then one of the subjects again, I remember. And then anybody that said I should teach them or want to be part of my clique, I'll tell you that you have to watch pornography with us. And in one academic year, I converted about 36 young people to watch pornography. 36 young people to watch pornography. What does that tell you? It tells you that lack of parent-child relationship can expose your child to pornography addiction. That was how I got involved, you know, for 14 years. And then I started looking for where, you know, I started converting people every time I watch pornography. You know, I even went to Lagos to join pornography school so that I can become a porn star. You know, this thing destroyed my life. Sorry, I'm becoming vulnerable. I've shared with somebody I want to marry already, so I'm safe. It's because I fight against pornography today. It's a terror. It is terrible. So what I'm saying is, you have to fight for your family. Pornography is a big enemy against your family, your child, and your future. Many parents are addicted to it. Please, as a parent, if you're addicted to it, don't be ashamed. Please reach out to me. We have to take sections on that. You need a book, you need a training, whatever. You have to come, because this has destroyed a lot of hope. Recently, a marriage for 22 years is almost shattered. Shattered. Why? Because the woman caught the husband. Let me say this. You may hide pornography, but it will never be safe for too long. Because you're an adult does not give you permission to watch pornography. Many children told us that they watch pornography because they saw it by their parents watching it. They saw pornography the first time in their parents' phone. It is destructive. Now, this is it. You need to learn this. Become a pal parent. Present, accessible, and available, and listening. How do you protect your home? Number one, you have to be a present parent. You have to be present and intentional so that you can be able to build that network, that connection, that relationship that can help you instill right values in your children. Values are not forced. Values are caught or taught. Values are not forced. Values are caught or taught. So when you don't build the value, when you don't teach the values, when your children do not catch the values and you want to force the values on them, you have missed it. And this is why I say this. Pornography does not force children to watch it. They just understand the child emotion. They understand the 5 basic needs or emotional needs of children. And they act upon the basic emotional need of children. And that's how they catch your children. And they glue them to the screen and sustain them, make them ambassadors. It is very... I laugh because I know what I'm saying. Denial is not a proof for integrity, is not a proof for liberty, is not a proof for freedom. Many parents deny that their children are not involved, and I tell you, it's a big fat lie. Many of your children are involved and you don't know about it. They are involved and you don't know about it. Don't say, oh, my child is not there. The father who caught his daughter, who was using banana in the toilet, they gave them banana after she was eating. She said she's going to eat that letter, and then she took it. That girl was 8 years old. I talked about the lesbian porn site. I talked about the gay porn site. A lot of these things are happening today. I do a lot of research on this because I have been a victim of this before. So you have to be a power parent. Be present with your children, and not just with your children, for your children. Be present with your children and for your children. Many parents are just present with their children so that they can flog them. You have to be present for your children. It means you understand the emotions of your children per time. It means you are learning your child. Until you begin to learn your child, you cannot be a better parent to the child. It is because pornography had understand the psychology of today's children, and they are learning how to persuasively and seductively reach your children with the message that destroy the future of your children. And let me say this, pornography is in the future waiting for your children to meet them. Are you ready to fight for your children? It is not a matter of this conference alone. You need to take trainings, you need to get books, we need to sit down and have the conversation, because pornography is intentional about destroying the future of your child. And they're learning new skills right now. They're learning new skills, how to bring it to schools. I can tell you for free, a lot of schools now are exposed to pornography. A lot of children have brought pornography to schools. And it's a competition. One of the times there's a competition of kissing. If you can kiss in a primary school. Let's not go there. This is not sex conversation. Somebody have been able to handle that. So there's a spirit place to fight. There's a place of the soul to fight. And the place of the body to fight. Your relationship with your child matters a lot. What kind of parent are you? You have to be a pal parent. Be present. Be accessible. Accessibility means your child should be able to come to tell you no matter what, and even if how messy he has become. Many children who consistently began to watch pornography was because they were not bold enough to come and meet their parents and say, this was what I was involved in. Let me ask you, have you done the parent-child test to ask your child, please tell me, am I an accessible parent? Am I a listening parent? Am I a present parent? You have to do that. Many of the children are afraid. I was afraid of my parents. What would they say? What would they think about me? Even when I said it, my mother was denying. She was arguing. She wanted to beat me. And I said, oh, I'm so sorry. So fear gripped me. And I became a victim because of my fear. Have you created fear in your child that your child cannot tell you when he's messing up? I have a lot, but I don't know. Mrs. Precious, do we still have time? Because I don't know if I've been able to exhaust what I've been able to reach what you invited me for. I can't hear you.
Sorry, I was muted. Now our time is actually up. It's time for our question and answers. It has been an explosive session. It really has been an explosive session. Now, one part that really kept tugging at my heart was when you said, we need to fight for our children. Whenever you said that, it pricked my heart. And when you went on to share your story about being abused by an Auntie K, and how your parents didn't believe you, I kept on thinking, what would have happened if there was an adult who was equipped? What would have happened if there was an adult who believed you, who was able to connect, who was able to see your pain? And your story is quite heartbreaking. But I'm grateful that you've been saved to save other parents, and that is the amazing part. So thank you so much for sharing with us. The comment section is on fire. Now, while you take water, take a breather, we're going to be playing a review from the Inner Circle program. Parents who have been transformed from the Inner Circle. Take a breather, take a breath. Guys, ask your questions in the comment section. We're going to come back with the question that will be answered by Coach Abibo Berepele. Stay tuned, guys.
Hi, my name is Joseph Eliapsan. I'm in South Africa. I and my wife Tando, we are part of the Intentional Parent Academy. We have 3 children, 2 boys and 1 daughter. We started our intentional parenthood journey early this year, I think in January, but the results are really, really big. We now have our family vision and mission, and whatever we do is based on that. We do organize family meetings where we discuss everything about the family, and everyone in the family contributes. We now dedicate time to speak to our children more than before. Particularly as a father, I have learned a lot. Though the journey is still long, but being part of this academy is the best thing that has ever happened to me. I don't scream to my children anymore. I devote time to play with them, to go out with them, talk to them, and congratulate them whenever they do well, but also to build confidence into them. So really, I'm happy, even if sometimes I work far from home, but I use the new technology like the Facebook room, the Zoom meetings, so that I can keep talking to them. So thank you so much, Coach Wendy, our Vice Chancellor. May God bless you and your family. Greetings to the governor.
Amazing review. If there is any place you need to be in 2022, it is to be in the inner circle. Now, I want to share something that the academy has planned to do for the parents of the inner circle. Now, you would agree with me that the sessions have been amazing. And apart from it being amazing, we have been literally choked with information. Like, information has hit everybody left, right, up, down, center. Like, and at a point, you're going to get to that point where you get to a point where you've heard enough. Now, one system we are creating in the inner circle is that we're going to have a 10-day challenge for the Yadas. Yadas, can I see you in the comment section with your fire emojis and your dance emojis? Now, in these 10 days, we're going to break down every subject that you have learned in the conference. Every single subject, from that of pornography to sex proofing your home, every subject we've heard from the first to the 30th session, we're going to be breaking it down in the inner circle, because the truth is you're going to forget. The euphoria will die off very soon. But I can see Ify Andrew dancing. That's the spirit. We're going to break it down for you. We're going to break it down in a way that you can now apply it to your home. You're going to get to a point you're going to be exhausted with the information you're getting. But what system will enable you now practice this in your home? How are you going to create a system? That is what the inner circle is providing for you. The inner circle is one of the best things that happened to me this year. I'll be honest. It is one of the best things, and it is going to be one of the best things that will happen to you in 2022 if you send a chat to the number scrolling on your screen. I've said enough. Now let's get to the questions. Guys, please ask your questions. Join the inner circle. That's all I can say. Join the inner circle. So Chris Kachinenyanwa is asking, is it okay for a teacher to call children names like sweethearts? Did you hear me?
All right. So yes, I can hear you. There is nothing wrong with sweetheart. The question is, what is the child's emotional state? And what does the child understand by sweethearts? Because I can say this, even some people we think are adults, by the time you call some names, they just get attached to you. For instance, I had somebody where I called my dear, hi dear, how are you? And she thought I was actually asking her out, frankly speaking. And it almost put me in the problem when I told her I was in a relationship, currently. And she said, but you've always called me dear. And I said, I just felt like you are a dear person, but there's nothing. So I told myself, guy, be careful with what you call people. So if you call them sweetheart, there's totally nothing wrong, but you need to understand, how does the child respond to that? How does the child take it? So it's better you call the child name and add something to it.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you so much. Guys, please ask your questions. Let's take more questions from so you talked about parents who are already addicted, because a lot of times children don't learn these things from the ceiling. It's actually people in their lives who have modeled it to them. So for parents who are struggling with it, adults who are struggling with it, what would be your advice to them, please?
So my advice is, first, you have to accept that you have a porn struggle. Then you seek for help, because it's a journey. I struggled through it. I went through the journey, the therapy system and all of that, prayers and other counseling and training. And I went through that for a long while, and then I was able to come out of it. And I decided to become vulnerable just like I am now because I have fought it. I have a lot of people who have come out of it through our trainings and journey. So you need help. So you can reach out to us for help. But first, accept that you are a victim or you are struggling with it. Next, accept that you need help. That's the way to go.
All right. Awesome. So Ada Isabu is asking, what are the signs that a child is into porn?
Okay, so first, does the child always want to be alone with gadgets? That's one. This child that is very outspoken and relative, you know, he likes connecting with people, is the child trying to be seclusive? Why? And what does it do alone? Why does it have to off the light almost every time? Because porn would possibly lead to masturbation. So some of these things aside, but let me say this, don't assume. Don't assume. That's why for you to prevent assumption, you have to create relationship that should first tell your child to be vulnerable. So please, I have to tell you, behind the scene, I can tell you other things, but please and please, why I'm careful not to just say this way is because of people will now say, oh, my child is, no. If you assume and accuse your child of watching pornography, you are instilling in the child that is possible for him, and instead you start watching it.
All right.
Because sometimes accusation bets behavior.
Okay. Yeah, we're with you. All right. So someone else is asking, at what age can we start sex education? Now, before you give a response, sir, I would like to advise that you check the playlist for this conference. We had a full session by Cynthia Ibulinde.
Yeah.
I think it was on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Please check out that session. It talked about how you can make sex conversations fun for your child. And I know she addressed this. So please check that session. Please give a response, sir.
Please, Cynthia has given a lot of response to that. So I wouldn't want to touch what she has done. Please go back and do that. I think she has these qualities and values that I've seen in that. Thank you.
Yeah, all right, thank you. Okay, someone says, how can we help a child that is already into porn?
Yeah, helping a child that's already into porn. First, how did you know the child is into porn? Because you need to answer that question. How did you know the child is into porn? And then when you knew that the child is into porn, how was your reaction? Did you respond or you react? I know it's common for parents to react. It's hard to start from you before the child. Yes, the child is into porn. What is my responsibility? Love the child the more. Don't mention it. Oh, because of people, parents will attack the child with it. Oh, I thought I was raising you right. I did not know. No, the child is into porn. The child needs help. So first of all, accept the child with all his mess or all the mistakes that the child is making. All right. Then that's when you can now start the conversation. But I would like you to take trainings or books, you know, so that you can do that conversation well. But I've given you the basic key. Love the child, accept the child, and talk with the child that we need to go through this journey. Don't force the change, because forced change becomes pretense that never transforms a child.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Love and accept the child. Priska is asking, what's your reaction about the girl child who has already been sexually abused by her own blood brother? Again, what should parents do?
Oh, if you've been abused, you are not alone.
Okay, so she's saying
you are not destroyed.
Child.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay, so I'm saying the question is a girl child who has been sexually abused by her own brother.
Yes,
okay,
she's traumatized. Okay, so what your reaction? Now, the first thing as a parent is, yes, in fact, you're confused. That's the truth. Let's not pretend about it. As a parent, you'll be confused. Where have I gone wrong and the rest of that? First of all, you have to accept the girl separately, accept the boy separately. Because if you try to attack the boy, you do not know where it came from. There's something that was happening that you did not know about. That boy did not just get it from the air. It's either there's a competition or something happened. So you have to deal with them differently. Accept that love is the first foundation. Then you now begin to talk with the girl different from the boy. Now you have to bring back her sanity because she's actually traumatized, especially for the fact that it came from her brother. Then you also have to bring back the boy's sanity and know exactly how it started. And you need therapy, sincerely speaking. You need counseling, you need therapy. Your children also need it. because we can't just come in this conference and tell you this is what and what to do. It might fail. We need to understand the children first, what happened, how that journey began, and then the way forward. But I would say this to you for free. Please love them again and again, and love them separately. Let it be that they are there and they are loved by you.
Oh, amazing. Welcome, Coach.
Thank you, Precious.
Thank you.
All right, so we're going to ask the last question while we conclude this session. So once Vivian said, while watching the movie with a child and there's a kissing scene, is it fine to change it immediately or explain to the child that it's meant for grown-ups only?
Depends on the child's mental position and what you have done before then. So what you've done before then matters. So some persons will say, allow the child watch and explain to the child. Yes, of course. If it's me, I would say at a point, I must understand what I've taught the child before I allow the child watch. And say, what is that thing? It's called a kiss. What is it for? It's for daddy and mom. Remember that I told you dad and mom are the people that kiss, and all of those things. It makes the child understand. So even when he sees two people kissing that are not parents' hands, he say, mom, they are doing the wrong thing. You understand what I'm saying? If you just turn on the television, for me, that's my own. The child will one time want to go and know why they are turning off that television. He wants to see that thing. So you have not really educated that child. That's for me anyway.
All right,
Coach Wendy is here.
Please.
Abibo! Did I tell you that Abibo is my birthday mate?
Oh, wow.
And I am also her protege. Let me say this today.
Abibo is my
she has groomed me.
We don't produce goats. It's lion by lion.
Thank you, Coach Wendy.
So much, Abibo. I'm so proud of you. I saw you firing on every thought. In fact, at the time, I was scared. Parents are not going to sleep tonight. You came with a double barrel gun for us. It is well.
Thank you, man.
We received it wholesomely. Thank you so much, Abibo.
Thank you,
it was such a session. It was such a. Let me say this to you. Abibo is not married yet. He's a young man that I've mentored over the years. And he has taken I can't count how many he hasn't taken. Parenting courses, so book, he's everywhere. He will say, so coach, I'm inside that course. So I'm like, Abibo, calm down. As in at the time, I had to say, calm down, it's okay, we're coming, just be coming. This young man just made a choice. I want to equip myself. So even if you're single and you're watching and you're saying, it's only for married people, blah, 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 only for people who have children, you can start your journey. It's been an amazing session. I can't even thank you enough, Abibo. You know that I love you. Thank you for doing this.
Thank you, man.
For TIP Academy. We do not take it for granted. Hey, Precious, thank you so much. I love you too. Thank you for doing this over and again. And hey, thank you so much for being here. The questions, I can see the people, I can see people saying I'm literally crying. People, in fact, I was looking at the session, the question, part, and I'm laughing. Somebody said coach is laughing at us. Actually, whenever some things are said, it's usually easier, when we look at it from another perspective. So that's why I love this conference. I just love it. The speakers have just echoed. I've not spoken to any of the speakers before this conference. And they will tell you, I didn't discuss their topics. I didn't have conversations with them. I remember when we were doing the Sex Educate Your Child Like a Pro, which Abibo was also there as well. He doesn't have a child yet, but he was in Sex Educate Your Child Like a Pro. And, we were talking about, some of those things that, we're saying today. And, we were pushing out all of this. But something profound he said today, the music part. It got me. Yeah. That part got me. I was in my children's school a few days ago for their graduation. And, I sat down in that space. My children's proprietor, she's watching me now. Shout out to you, Mrs. Bankole. I can't thank you enough for the things that you have done in the lives of the twins. I can't thank you enough. And, it dawned on me that that school, the primary school, was the first school I went into that was conscious about the biblical principles that they actually said that they were transferring to the children. They were conscious about the music. They were conscious about the things that the children were listening to. And it got me thinking, and again. You go to your children's school, they are playing, I don't even know how to sing many of them. People had all of them in his head. You know, he was reading it out, I was laughing. And they're singing it, you're there dancing, yay, and all of that. And you're dancing to these songs, and you think it's okay. Meanwhile, your children are being groomed gradually into the whole system. I think that that's the biggest access. I love the way you shared about the access, the environment, the music, and all of that, the media. The internet might actually be the least of your problems. The internet might actually be the least of your problems in this whole circle. The music, the media that is in your home. Do you have a media plan in your home, or everything goes? You come, you put on anything, everybody watches anything, and it's okay. Of course, the parents in the inner circle understand that you can't even come and tell me that your child is just watching anything and it's just okay.
Yeah.
And you prove to me that, it's tech. No. That's not what we're talking about. Let your children go and learn how to use tech positively, and not how to, just be inside everywhere and just scouting for everything. These things are just, in fact, that people said many things that he quoted, and in fact, I'm literally gushing over this session. Thank you so much again and again. God forbid is not a parenting strategy. The porn industry is more strategic. That's what our people say. I've said that also before. They are more strategic than you. You are there. You are speaking in tongues. You are praying. Is good. But what is your strategy? I was listening to Ebuka a few days ago, and Ebuka said that the strategy that Jochebed put into place to be able to raise Moses. So, in fact, the way he described it, he said, imagine that Jochebed was just dancing. He said, remember, you are not an Egyptian. Remember, you are not. As in, it was so amazing. You need to go back to that section. There was strategies. Pray, please, but please, I am begging you, work out a strategy for your child. We've been announcing the inner circle, and you will come at some point. It's precious that we tell you that the inner circle slots are gone. And yes, we'll also be very, very glad. At the beginning of the year, it happened.
I am coming.
We couldn't put in. Abibo told me this at the beginning of this year. He said, I'm coming to the inner circle finally. I'm like, Abibo, hold on. When you get married, you get it. He said, no, I'm inside already. And you just need to put a lot of systems, structures on your journey. There's no two ways about it. Children are on holiday. What is your plan? For the past 11 years, my husband and I have made plans to sit at home during the long vacation. You think it's easy? It's not. You need to make a choice on how you want to play this game. Abibo said something, parenting is war. And I say to you, parenting is war. But the question is, how are you fighting? Casually or intentionally? The choice is yours. So you can decide to raise your children by probability, or you decide to raise them intentionally. Probability is 1/5. Intentionality gives you 5/5. So your choice is yours. Nobody's going to, we're all going to, come here and just talk and all of that. After the conference, it's going to fizzle out if there's no process attached to it for you. Trust me, I know. This is not the first time we're doing a fireful conference. This is not the second time we're doing a fireful conference. We have done it over and again. And people have gone back to where they are coming from. Because there's nobody working out the system for you. Thank you so much, everybody, again and again. As we begin to, catch up. Abibo, thank you again. Precious, thank you again. Precious also does an amazing job in this space. In fact, Precious has an affirmation she created recently. Wait, don't worry, it was just for the parents in the inner circle that got it there. All right.
The inner circle.
All right, so Precious does, she runs the Parents Up Africa, where she also teaches, parents how to help their children, teach their children, and all of that. And Abibo too has a lot of books. If you're struggling with porn, please reach out to Abibo. That would be my admonition this evening. And I know that there's a lot of us, that are in that space. If you are, please, by all means, reach out to him. Let there be a process. Parenting is not about tips and hacks. Parenting is about the process. And there is no free session that can actually give you the depth in men. There is knowledge. There are lots of knowledge and wisdom you cannot access for free. I am telling you sincerely. There is a depth of knowledge. I tell this to my mentees and they know it. There's a depth of knowledge you can't access for free. You need to understand that if you want to walk your journey, you need to part with something. We're talking about life. We're talking about, a process. You need to tell yourself. But it's actually about your values, what is important to you. Because, hey, if we live here, there are Ashebis by December, you're going to buy Ashebi 100K, wait, and then move on. But if you need to work on your journey to work on porn, you're going to say, oh, I don't really have money. I don't have that kind of money. So it's all about our value system. It's all about our value system. Thank you so much again and again. And Abibo, please, what will be your last words for parents as we begin to round up?
My last word is everything that you need to do right is learned. Parenting is a learned skill. Wendy has said that. I have intentionally decided again that I'll join the next inner circle. So go and join the inner circle. Don't leave it to chance. It does not work. Thank you very much, Coach Wendy. Thank you, Precious.
Thank you so much, Abibo. Please follow Abibo. Abibo, can you share your Instagram handle for us? I'm going to share it on the Telegram group anyway, but you can follow. He's more active on Facebook than Instagram.
Yes,
right?
I am. Yes,
Abibo Perepele, we're going to share his details on Facebook so that you can contact him directly. Please don't contact me if you have porn issues, because I'm begging you. I do not have what to help you with. Please don't contact me, please. Just contact Abibo. I'm going to share his number with you. He will help you. I don't do the one that I cannot do. Please, I'm begging you. Thank you. Precious, what will be your last words for parents as we begin to round off now?
My last words will be join the inner circle. I'll be the one at the gate in 2022. I will chase you. Join the inner circle. That's my last word, guys. Thank you so much, Coach.
Thank you so much, Precious. And hey, follow Precious and join the Parents of Africa on Facebook as well. And we would all go there. All right. Somebody is saying I need the Telegram group link. Please send us a chat and we'll be able to send it to you. I don't think it's on this stream. Follow us on Instagram at The Intentional Parents with the S, where we share about all the raves about the TIP annual conference. You don't want to miss the raves. Again, contact Coach Abibo. He has books. He has written so much insightful books. He had written how his mom's prayers also helped him on his journey. You need to just contact him and just, have all of that. Of course, you saw how he was throttling from all the angles. He couldn't even finish. His body was just doing papa everywhere. In fact, I was listening to him. I was like, I wish we had 10 hours to actually do this. Thank you, Abibo. Thank you, Precious. Love you guys. TIP is grateful. See you guys again at the last session. You don't want to miss this session. No? It is 7:30 and we're going to be having Auntie Etima.
Etima.
Woo! If you have ever heard about sexual mama in your life, you haven't heard it well until you listen to Etima. I say that there's no other person that talks about sexual purity like Etima does. You want to be here at 7:30 to listen to Etima Abangome. You want to be here. Trust me. We're looking forward to all of it. All right. So immediately it's 7:30. We would be live. Thank you, Precious. Thank you, Abibo. See you guys at the back. Thank you, everybody. And see you as we begin to round up for this session. See you again and again as we close. Thank you.
Hello and good day, everyone. My name is Mrs. Toyin Sami Mehelu. I am an education consultant, a leadership coach, and mentor. Yes, so I would like to just share with us things that I've really learned from the Inner Circle. That's the Intentional Parent Academy, led by our amiable coach, Mrs. Wendy Ologe. So basically, the Inner Circle has been a life-transforming experience for me. Being an educator, Montessori certified, done a lot of certification courses around children. I got to just discover that sometimes last year I knew I needed to up my game and learn more. As my daughter, clocked 10, I actually had that nudge to learn more. So January this year, I jumped into the Inner Circle. I met Wendy Ologe December last year in Abuja when I was on vacation, and so I decided to just plunge in. The Inner Circle has been so amazing. One of the things that I've learned basically was that I could parent from a place of calm, and that parenting is about me, not just about the child. I've been able to get my life back, because parenting can be so consuming. So with the skills, techniques, strategies, and everything that she taught us in the Inner Circle, I've been able to do that. Another thing was I was able to learn more effective discipline strategies as to yelling, or shouting, or having to run around my children, trying to get them do stuff. The Inner Circle program has equipped me with what I needed to actually discipline them with consequences and to correct, connect before correcting. And that for me has been amazing. Another thing I've loved is that this is July, yes. So currently I'm reading the 7th book on parenting for the year. Okay, so the fact that we have to be accountable has helped me to read at least one parenting book per month. Hey, don't get me wrong, I'm really a very busy person, but the fact that we are accountable has enabled me to read 7 powerful books on parenting. I could go on and on and on and on and on, but then I would just like to encourage you, if you're watching this video, to please sign up for the Inner Circle program in 2022. I can't wait to get to level 2 and get to learn more. All right, thanks for watching, and bye for now.
Hi. Hi, my name is Angela Juma, and I am in the Inner Circle. Since I joined the Inner Circle group, my parenting journey has really changed. In fact, Inner Circle is a huge blessing to me. By being in the Inner Circle, I've learned how to parent with peace and calm. So if truly you really want to parent with peace and calm, and you want to learn better skills in parenting, please join the Inner Circle. Thank you.